Mouses don't stand a chance, I'm afraid. Here you go. It's like a solid piece of carton, but she does wink every now and then. So she's telling, I don't mean any harm, I'm just playing. But really, today I got hit once more, and it's I don't know, she plays rather rough. Well, anyways, that was not the point, of course. Bye, Cleopus. It's these. The combination of mini monitor with these. Not so much the mini monitor, but eventually something else. A different driver. I guess maybe 6-inch. This is a 5-inch, maybe 6 or maybe even 8-inch. Depending on how, how big it gets, because I want to keep it small. And I played around with it a lot. Today at least, because I was, there's a dip and a hump, which I tried to get away, like remove somehow, but there's no method of doing that besides a notch, and then it looks pretty well. As you can see in this measurement here, that's the right speaker, and in the other measurement it's left and right at listening position, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's perfect. Moving up and down will change the response a little bit, but far less than without the notch. It's also crucial that they're not pivoted too much, like leaning backwards. That will fuck up the response as well. So a tiny bit is okay, but not too much. In my room, these tiny woofers are more than enough, but I can imagine in a little bit bigger space or a less bass heavy room, it might not be enough. So it's also on the recording itself, I'm not sure how much low end there will be left. As we already knew, it somehow doesn't like translate well. I'll make a recording from the listening position, which is on the couch there. Yes, you will get a reflection from the back, and I could make a better recording if I move the mic completely forward, but I don't think that's really fair, because then the speakers are insanely far apart as well, which is not, well, they are, but if you move the mic closer, then, you know, the triangle becomes weird. So yeah, it's the ribbon I made earlier this year. It's not a beauty, but it works. There's space left, so the magnets in a next design could be closer together. And there is a trick apparently of connecting the ribbon to the PCB that's underneath there. It's hard to see, but there is a PCB. People say on some fora, use Vaseline and then screw down the terminals, because now if you don't use it for like a month or something, the aluminium will corrode. Well, it will corrode instantly, but maybe the copper will, and then the connection is not perfect. So using Vaseline apparently solves that problem. Never tried that. I will try it. A CD there to prevent it from pivoting too much, because with this clamp it will pivot. So there's a capacitor just to get rid of the DC offset of the amplifier, so it's not part of the filter itself. It's not doing much. It's a huge value. It's just getting rid of DC voltages. It works without, but you know, why not implant it? And it can be a cheap one. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Wow, it was. So yeah, gonna play some tunes. Oh wait. It's falling apart, but this was the Bluetooth speaker thingy. It is working, but I thought long and hard, and I cannot think of a nicely designed to like house it. So for now, I'll just put the parts away, and maybe something comes to mind. At this moment, nothing comes to mind, so I'll just remove it from the kitchen so I can use my kitchen properly again, and then we'll think of a decent design later on. I'll play 2 tunes. One is the Pink Panther, or something from, what is it? The Mancini, bloody blah Mancini, I don't know. And one from Emiliana Torrini, I think, from an older album. So the idea of the whole thing, the build itself, well, it's not a build, but what I want to do is, I want to make something that is consistent, cheap, and rather easy to make. Some of the planers I made are not easy to make, and there's a fail rate of like 1/3, sometimes like half of it, which is very frustrating. These I can build quite, well, I wouldn't say easily, but consistently at least. So if I want to make another pair, I can. Still not sure if I use double rows of magnets or I use the steel as I do right now and use only 1 row of magnets. Still not clear about that. Since price wise it's almost the same, double magnet is a tiny bit stronger, but having metal in there is also nice for the construction itself. Now it's 22mm MDF and the magnets will fit in there, but in the end I need something beefier to fit in the magnets as well as round off the round off here a bit. Now it's not possible because you will round off the magnets, which is not doable, of course. So the baffle needs to be thicker so I am able to round it off. Although at this moment it's not really needed, but I think it will be it looks nicer, I think. But anyhow, Emiliana Torrini, Dead Dog. Pretty long song, so bear with me, but there are some really nice details and stuff in here. It's messy sometimes, it's really not messy at all at some other times. So there we go. Ow. From the beginning, please.
Bring back, tick
That's some weird noise. It's very low as well. I also finished, or not me alone, me and Cees also finished the case project once more. So we made new panels, new back cover for the pussycat, so it doesn't get destroyed once more. We filled the filter compartment with sand, made a notch filter as well, because there was a hump at 10k, I believe. I never did that, so it was nice. It was not that difficult in the end, but yeah. So these woofers are a bit they're a bit too small for this kind of setup, but anyhow, it works for my room. It's also not a gated measurement because I cannot gate down low. So if I would measure this outside, there should be a few dB more low end, which is kind of a, well, it's not very nice sounding in my room because then there is too much low end. But I know if I'll take it to someone, there should be a little bit more low end than there is right now. And probably you will notice this on YouTube as well. Somehow it doesn't pick up the room notes very well, but they are there if I listen to it, and well, I have to listen to it, so. Shall we go to the Pink Panther theme, I guess? Yep. assure you it sounds rather nice. Although, I must say the whole album has quite a lot of top end, which is, well, as you can hear. So that's what I'm doing, and it might be the case that that there will be another Christmas ribbon, because we're nearing Christmas, of course, and I'm staying home because Corona, blah blah blah. So I'll probably make another ribbon, just like last year, but slightly, it's gonna be this ribbon, but kind of, magnets a little bit closer, so we get a little bit more output. Although I don't need it for this woofers. I mean, there might be still a little bit too much top end. And if you're wondering, they're crossed at 450 with a Linkwitz Riley, and the reason for that is a Linkwitz Riley pads the, well, it has like a more, it's less of a steep slope. I mean, it's both, if you look at bezel, it's both 12 dB per octave, but it starts earlier to drop off, and that's to mitigate some of the, I got a little bit of a hump, kind of, at like 500 hertz or something, or a little bit higher, which I can counter with that. The woofers itself, they're crossed really low because they have a kind of tendency to rise a little bit. It's also the baffle step thingy. And in this case, I don't use a baffle step filter, I just cross lower. So it's crossed at 275 hertz. So these woofers are, at this moment, they're tiny, but they're trying to do as much lower end as possible. So I think I can get away with slightly bigger woofers with a little bit more efficiency. Especially after I measured it outside, because inside there's enough bass for me right now, but maybe it's not so much for on camera or on the recording. And if you measure it outside, I probably lack some bass and probably have to like add 4 dB or something, which is not possible with these woofers. I can pad the ribbons; they are really inefficient already, but yeah. Probably gonna use a bigger woofer. I think that's a better idea, like a 6.5 or maybe even an 8-inch, but then the housing becomes rather large and I want to keep it smallish. Camera died, so I want to keep it smallish, cheap, and easy to make. Yeah, well, that's about it. Oh, also, a lot of people contacted me, or people do contact me every now and then to say like, I like the planar magnetic things and I want to start the company as well. To those I have to say, well, it's hard for me. I'm not gonna start a company with persons on the other side of the globe without knowing them personally, and it's just not gonna work. There was a company, a well-known company, that asked me to make these tweeters with some benefits, more efficient, and maybe able to cross a little bit lower, which is, I don't know if that's possible. I tried, but the efficiency is not going up very much. And as well, I've never heard from this company as well. So you have a talk, and then after that, you usually don't hear anything. That's how it goes, several times. Okay with me, but it's weird, to say the least. Yeah, so I'd rather do it myself, and if someone wants to buy something or something, that's fine with me, but only if I got something that I'm willing to sell, so that I'm confident about, and as well that is easy to produce, at least consistently, because the tweeter from the mini monitors, I made them and worked this time quite easy, but far often it's not easy, and I'm fucking around in my shed like all day long, and I'm only able to make like 4 tweeters or something, which is not, if I have to sell them for a decent price, that's not possible at all. So that's not, it's fun, I build it for myself, nice, but it's not a commercial viable product. These maybe only the ribbon, I don't know. I'm really not sure about that yet. Although there was a person that wanted to buy one, and I should keep my promise about that. I'll try to contact him and make a new ribbon for him, because I promised it. You have to keep your promises, but it did take quite a lot of time. Well, it was some time ago. And there's a new Patreon as well, which is really nice, really helpful. So if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon, and subscribe, blah blah blah, you know the deal. And maybe I can make something from these that is viable, but who knows? I'm not saying I am. First I have to make a new panel, new ribbon, and use some different speakers. So I want to buy some SB Acoustics 8-inch drivers and see what it does. Next up, I guess, with the new ribbon. But see you next time. Bye bye.